We're going to see the exploration of the upper limb, neurological examination of the upper limb. We have the motor, sensory, and reflex. So we have C5, C6, C7, C8, and C1. Here I will put the myotome, and here the dermatome. So the myotome will be for the muscular part, dermatome for the sensory part. So the movement, for C5, would be C5 produces abduction of the shoulder by the biceps and deltoid. The C6 produces extension of the wrist and flexion of the elbow. C7 extension of the fingers and extension of the elbow. C8 flexion of the fingers, and C7 and C8, whenever of these two, produces flexion of the wrist, and D1 abduction and adduction of the fingers. So C5, C6, we will tell the patient don't let me bend the wrist. So C6, elbow flexed, so don't let me extend the arm, so I will flex the arm. C6, C7, don't let me bend in the fingers, and don't let me bend the elbow. C8, don't let me extend the fingers, and D1, this movement. Now the dermatomes. C5 will cover the inner part of the arm. C6, the inner part of the forearm, and the thumb and the index fingers. So let me put an arm here. You have the little finger, middle finger, index finger, and the thumb. Here comes the arm, etc. So C5, C5, C6, C6. C7 is the middle finger, but could be variable. Middle finger. And C8 is the outer part or the external part of the forearm. C8. And the T1 is the outer part of the forearm, of the arm. T1 out or external part of the forearm, and T2 is the axilla. So we have the dermatomes is C5. C5 is this inner part. Well, C5, C5, C6, or this is 6, then C7, C7, C8 here, T1 here, and the axilla is T2. Alright, now the reflexes. We have 3 reflexes: the biceps, brachioradialis, and triceps. Biceps and brachioradialis go from C5, C6, and triceps C6 to C7. So for the biceps, we will tap here on the insertion, and we need to see flexion of the elbow. The same for brachioradialis. And for the triceps, we will put the finger here. We will tap here, and we need to see extension of the arm. Now, in the video of reflexes, we talk about it is different a myotatic reflex, that is we hit directly the muscle and we will see the twitch of the muscle, and the other is to hit the tendon, that is in the insertion. These ones we need to do it in the insertion, so most of the time we put the finger. Sometimes we don't need it. If we hit in the insertion, we don't need to put the finger, but it's a way to remind us that we are hitting the tendon and not the muscle. One fast way is you put the hand something like this thumb here, where we will do this. Here we will put our finger, and with the hammer we will do this. We can put this thumb here and the index here, so something like this, and so we will just do something like this. We'll see this, and then here we'll see this. So we just do this, and there is no need to do this, and then this. And for the brachioradialis, you could also do it here, but other thing is you can ask the patient to put the fingers like this, hanging on the patient's, on the doctor's fingers. So let's say this is the hand of the doctor. I am the patient here. I will put this, and the doctor will hit here, and we'll see this. This will be the reflex. So now, if we suspect a lesion to the C5 root, we will suspect the patient has trouble with abduction of the shoulder and the sensation of this part. C6, problems or troubles with the extension of the wrist, flexion of the elbow, and sensory disturbance on this part. C7, sensory problems on the middle finger and troubles in extending the fingers and extending the elbow. C8, troubles with flexing the fingers, flexing the wrist, sensation here, and the one problem with adduction and abduction of the fingers and sensory here. So this is how, if there is problems of the peripheral nerve, that is motor and sensory, and there is no pattern like it's the radial nerve because all the extensor muscles are affected, they follow a myotome or a dermatome, then we can see if it's a C5, C6, C7, C8 nerve root damage. Now in the next video we will see the damage.